Hey, all you gamers and sexy gamer girls, it's me, Vicky Nigo of the Dice Scum. After surviving my horrible mauling by wolves and coyotes and Hispanic people, go to the hospital. And my medical bills are outrageously high, so I need you to download Raid Shadow Legend. You will go play this game, for it is very cool, in-depth, and there are a lot of character interactions to do with it. I hope you have fun with the game. Give me money.
You pick the best places to start, Randall. Coma in death. I guess that's how the player would feel if they managed to get this far into the book.
Like I said, it feels, it's kind of like the end. You feel like that. You're trapped in your own body, and you can do nothing as you just can't move, and you're caught in an endless cycle of just horror, and it's dreamlike.
My eyes fade as I go into the abyss. I'm Adam, and we're either close to finishing or finishing up this book today. Who knows?
I'm Alabaster the Unicorn, and do I even have to say anything? This book says everything this book and this title says everything I need to say about what I feel, right?
And I'm Randall, and I'm currently looking at... I'm not sure what this is. I think this is... Wait, is it wearing blackface?
Oh my god, it is.
I thought it was.
Oh, God, no.
Oh, wait, the lips. Oh, God, it is.
Oh, no. Yay.
Oh, no.
Mammy, I'm coming home. Oh, Lord.
Oh, God.
It turned into a Wraeththu, and we're seeing him, right?
Oh, this is Justin Trudeau.
Oh, so we have blackface, predator hair, and I think that's crocodile's. Is that a crocodile skin miniskirt?
I think it is.
Yeah, but not only that, but do you like how the head is not connected to the body?
Oh, it's not. It's not.
Like the neck should be going up to like this. This is not a human. This is like a snake creature.
It is. Oh my god, it's one of the colostomies. They said they're supposed to be snakes.
Oh god.
I'm under deep cover in the area of Harlem. They don't suspect me at all. Meanwhile, you have like the residents of Harlem getting ready to beat this sucker senseless.
Oh my god. Well, that's a...
I did not expect to open up with blackface, but here we are.
That's as good a start as any. But I think this is a low point for the art. I don't think there's really
the
anything
Ugandan
else.
with the mutilated body was the low part. This is second place though.
I think that
first place if you include the cultural insensitivity.
Well, there might be a contender on page 300.
We'll get to that.
Is it a naked Greek man saying we must fight as one?
Well, there's nudity.
I see. Is it the... Wait, it's that moping rocker again. I had to change my pants for checker pants.
Oh god, his pant pattern is kind of giving me a headache.
Do you like how he's hiding half his body with this long hair? Is this like post-apocalyptic Two-Face as like a gangster?
Maybe it is.
Oh my god, this could be like an Elseworlds like futuristic like this is Batman Beyond's take on Two-Face.
Jesus Christ, that depresses me. Please don't. Let's not drag good stuff.
Jared
into this
Leto's
shit.
Two-Face.
That is emotion I can support.
This does look like something that Jared Leto would cook up for
Oh
Two-Face.
no! Please don't insult Wraeththu by comparing it to Jared Leto.
Gassing. What?
Wait a minute. Does this mean like they fart so hard that it's like lethal? We have to deal with tough.
Well, I mean, I think it's based on the environment. Like, if you're wandering around in an area just filled with carbon monoxide, this is what happens.
Well, yeah, but I'd like
Depending on the gas involved, the end result could be anything from severe sickness to death.
I
Death
just
by
like to
Dutch oven.
There are
I
too
feel
many
like that might
gases in existence to list their properties and effects here. However, should they be needed for a story, you can research these through the various means. Just
You hear that?
huff
You
a
hear
bunch
that,
of
Andrew
them.
Dobson? Your inflation fetishism can come true in this horrible book.
Can we make Death by Dutch Oven like the title of this?
I think this book can cause coma or death by Dutch oven are the titles, and I don't think anything can beat
that. Well, there's this little quote up here. You want to get that?
Oh my god. Oh, that almost suffocated me. I think I would be
I'd
much more scared if you weren't such a gimp.
Oh god, all I can think of is Pulp Fiction.
Either that or Saints Row 3.
Yeah.
Listen, I think I feel something. It could be lunch related. Jesus Christ. This is almost too perfect to what we were just talking about.
This book has gone full gonzo, and I'm not gonna lie, I love it.
Yeah, it's a reason why it's one of my favorite bad RPG.
Oh, they actually explain drowning. Oh, wow! Gabriel Strange actually knows about those weird fluids that were invented that you can actually breathe.
Huh.
Because beyond this point, they'll begin to drown unless by chance they land in a highly oxygenated liquid.
So he's seen the abyss.
He also saw there was a little experiment where a rat. This was like a real experiment where a rat and humans have actually inhaled like this weird fluid. So yeah, he's seen the abyss, which is neat.
I wasn't the biggest fan of the abyss. I kind of felt like
appreciate that movie because that's where the T-1000 got his design ethos from.
That's fair enough. Like I said, the abyss. No, I thought the abyss came after.
Nope, 1990. The abyss was created, and that's when James Cameron felt that the special effects have gotten well enough to actually create what he had in his mind.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yep, Abyss was the kind of the test bed for what the T-1000.
I just kind of felt like that if you would have shaved 30-40 minutes off the Abyss, you would have had a much more tighter story.
Well, I think it's partially based on it's a Michael Crichton book, so I think he had to include some of the stuff in there. Well, then again, no, he didn't because Steven Spielberg changed the lot from Jurassic Park.
Though I do like the book. I do really appreciate the book of Jurassic Park, but we're getting off topic.
Yep. Yeah, we're getting into stuff that doesn't make us almost die of laughter.
Let's try the Lexicon 2 on 302.
Are you sure you don't want to look at impact damage?
No, let's yeah.
Yeah, he actually came up with rules for impact damage, and I kind of like that.
Let's see, below.
So about 8 miles per hour, 8.5. Below 4 meters, that's basically 12 feet. Less than 10 pounds. No damage or additional multipliers. Are you kidding me? You can break your face just from a baseball.
Yeah.
At that height. You can get some nice bruising from like a 5-pound weight landing on your foot or something.
You can break your face by just tripping over yourself and landing face first in the paint.
I would say they should at least do like, I don't know, 1d3 or 1d2 damage. kind of simulate that you do take a little bit of, pain.
Well, no. See, these are Wraeththu, so they're super special. And they can get hit in the face by baseballs all day.
I'm just now envisioning like a Ugandan just for fun, just staying in front of a the pitching machine, and he just does it because it's fun. Just
No,
getting
he does
smacked in the face.
It's like a Happy Gilmore where he does it for endurance.
It's endurance training. Like a tooth flies out of his face, and he's just like, "Gotta keep doing this."
No. It's how they choose their new leader. Whoever can stay in front of the ball checker the longest is king.
And then, like, each king comes out, their hands are shaking because of the chronic brain trauma they experienced in there.
No, to switch it up, they occasionally throw a brick or something else like that.
And then, like, the final round is if they can still keep standing after getting hit in the face with a steel chair. Which is, fun fact, banned in wrestling for a good reason now. The later impacts are just kind of interesting. I do like that he does explain that there's compounding damage for scenarios where it gets really, really fast.
So the thing is, though, this chart seems so like horrendous. Like at a certain point, you should say after a certain point that it's insta death at certain speed.
Yeah, there's a chunky salsa rule. I will say that the final 2 levels are a little bit confusing to read.
2D,
Yeah.
But even the second level, 2D5, 2D10 plus 5 damage, add the weight divided 20 to the damage. What kind of fucking rule? What kind of alien rules is?
Rules which assume that you just like to do, mid-level mathematics. I mean, arithmetic. That type of arithmetic's not too bad, but it's a lot of thinking for a game.
No, that's no. I mean,
does that mean
I
you
don't
can
have
just
problems
murder
with that.
Wraeththu with baseball pitching machines?
Probably.
Just like keep the speed at about 80 miles an hour and just
Oh my god,
slam it into them.
You use the rocket launcher from Fallout 3 to hammer home these assholes.
Oh, now you're just making me think like one of the things Kaiser's Legions could have had is a baseball thrower where they replaced the baseball with like lead stones.
That'd be actually cool. No,
and that's their version of like the Ballistae or the Scorpion. But we're getting off track again. Sorry, it's just the impact damage chart looked interesting, and it is a little mechanically dopey because the falling and impact are the same until you get to the faster levels. So anything else that's funny? Oh, Lexicon 2?
Yep. This kind of explains all the stupid bullshit words they've been throwing around.
Wait, they have badgers? Furry black and white.
You have to explain what a badger is.
Furry black and white creatures normally found in the forest. They lead a secret double life as agents for the undead. On occasion, they will hold parties and listen to banging techno music while drinking Earl Grey tea.
What fucking reference is this?
Okay.
I think it's supposed to be like that early 2000s. Oh, it's random, so it's funny.
Oh.
I thought badgers was just to eat your face off. I always would think of that if you would anthropomorphize badgers, they would have a bad attitude and be kind of white trash.
Well, the rule of thumb for badger is honey badger don't care.
I don't care. I'm just gonna go kill myself.
Oh, you broke my foot? I don't care. I'm just gonna break your face. Starts gnawing at it with utmost hate and rage.
Yes, like I said, honey badger. Like I said, I think you'd be the ultimate soccer hooligan.
Like honey badger don't care what you do to it. If it wants to break your face, it'll break your face.
Complementary weapons. These are not weapons as such, but complement other weapons. What kind they are used in the? They are used in the character's offhand and offer no offensive capabilities. What's the point in having that?
Is he like trying to say that like a gaucher dagger or like a sidearm or something?
No, the gauche serves a purpose. You can serve as an offensive and a defensive purpose.
Yeah, because
its
crossguard was used to defend your non-dominant side.
Yeah, like I said,
Unless
it
you're
does.
one of the weirdos who were left-handed, in which case you had a right-handing dagger.
I would probably be left. I'd probably be the lefty guy.
Gotta love Southpaws.
See. Most of this is just explaining combat shit. So we could probably move on.
I like how he had to add this at the bottom, though, just because, oh crap, I might not have explained any of this. Let's just dump it all at once. Oh my god! Look at 303. He has to explain what the hell storyteller means. 300 plus pages into the fucking book.
Oh.
Wait, oh, wait, people might not know what a storyteller is. Yeah, you know the people that run these games? Oh, wait, you might not have ever played a game. Oh god, imagine someone who's played Wraeththu as their first
I love
game.
So when you roll down, I love this quote. That day will come. We just have to buy our time. The Voss will overestimate their weapons and capabilities. They will deny magic, and they are unaware of our megalithic base of operations. The fall of the Voss is inevitable, whether it's by hands or their own folly. Discount Shar Aznable, the gleaming Archeon.
Char Aznable doesn't deserve to be in this book, and you know it.
No. This is the reason why. This is the real reason why Shar threw a. This is the reason why the Zeons threw a.
No, that was because Char had a mental breakdown and just kept screaming, "My daddy!" Anyway, I kind of like. Do you like the bootleg Minas Morgul logo?
Yeah.
Doesn't it look like something
Who?
you'd see in like bootleg Lord of the Rings for the
No,
Tower of the
speaking-
Moon?
Speaking bootleg iconography, go down one more page
Oh,
and
it
look at.
looks like a railroad sign. It's a
No.
railroad crossing sign.
Yeah.
Oh, and the next page with all the oh wow, look at this bootleg chaos symbol.
Chaos!
Wait, it's not just chaos. Like you see bootleg. It's like a bootleg Dark Mechanicum too.
Oh, look at that nose.
Look at the
It's
fact that it only has one eyeball, and the eyeball's too small for the socket.
The question though is, why do we repeat the guy that's on the left and the right? It's the same guy. Why did we repeat that? Like what's
And smaller
what's the-
dimensions too, by the way.
Literally just too lazy to write something new, so they just copy and paste. It's good enough.
Do you like the fucked up teeth on the skeleton of the skull head too? Oh, hey guys, I got fucked up teeth.
Maybe he's a British skull. You don't.
What about the pig nose on the man lady up there?
Oh god,
Oh, God.
yeah, I didn't even see that.
Tranny Miss Pig.
Granny Miss Piggy. I like the Christmas cracker lips that she also is wearing, as well as the Indian from Men at Work.
No, I think that's more Johnny Depp from the Lone Ranger movie.
Also, you can see that he or she's wearing a discount chaos, like a discount chaos cultist medallion.
Also, it took me until now to realize that she's wearing a shawl.
Also, the stars she's wearing, they're almost intentionally misshapen. Look at it.
There was an
Oh
attempt.
god. There it's the fucking there was an attempt star.
There's also you're not even trying star above it. Actually, no, that's Patrick Starr after going through weight loss surgery. SpongeBob, the diet worked.
That's after he got gastric bypass.
And
Do you like the creepy guy just standing behind the chaos symbol like, yeah, I'm here for some reason, don't fucking ask.
just
Oh no, he is the blind kung fu master we talked about.
Where I went, I needed no eyes to see. I did need diabetes, though.
Also, if you look at it, it may just be the way it's printed off, but the left eye of the skeleton is smudged out. I don't know if it's the print off of the book or that's the way the art was fucked.
I think this is how the art was done.
It's like one of the eyes is melting. It's kind of weird.
You know what I also like? It's printed off center from the book itself, by the way. It's not by much, but it's a little bit off center.
Oh. No, game, why?
Also, do you like how it takes you a while, but you kind of notice they tried to go for like a stained glass or an Ankh sort of thing?
Yeah,
But they
but it
didn't
just
finish
kind of it just kind of comes off as 70s discount tiling.
This looks like failed metal band album cover.
No, I think a metal band would have something cooler.
I said
This
failed.
is-
Like, we're talking, this is their first album, and they just got out of their garage, and they're performing at like IHOPs and fucking backwoods movie theaters. You know, the old TV screen. You know, the old screen drive-through theaters. Like, we're talking that level. Like, they don't even go to
yeah.
concerts really.
Yeah, I see it.
Like, all of them are doing coke, and actually they're wasting more money on doing drugs than they are actually making it in their dumpy ass fucking performances. They like live in the van, and the crossdresser is just routinely, like, while on Molly, is just getting molested by Mr. Grabby Hands on both sides of her. Like basically, this is a Me Too symbol waiting to happen.
Oh,
We've got the hover hands, the har.
So this image is what introduces us to magic.
Do you believe in magic? Not after reading this book.
Oh.
So, Adam, why don't you start?
The Forgotten Heritage, Wraeththu and Magic, by Malekis Harsl, High Chief Nerd of the Library of Kime. From the dawn of their civilization, humans worked magic, which is the understanding and manipulation of natural energy. Yeah, we call that fraud nowadays, but you know, whatever. But magic is also more than that. It is being aware of the connectedness of all things and having an understanding that we are but part of the whole.
Wait, did
I
he fucking
based
read this?
magic on the Force.
What he did was he based it off of the Circle of Life from like Lion King. He's that much.
Oh, so it's not even like something that is a little more relevant because it's based on the monomyth. Got it. The earliest human hunter-gatherers observed the turning of the seasons, the movement of the sun, moon, and stars, and the strange processes of birth, life, and death, and ascribed to these things mystical causes. Yeah, because we didn't know how the shit this worked.
Yeah.
They invented gods, demons, spirits, and elementals to explain the workings of the mysterious world. Oh, so Gabriel does know that. Good. I'm actually going to give kudos to that. The shaman of a tribe would enter the other world, i.e. take a lot of peyote and fucking lose their minds, to fight for his or her people against the unearthly denizens. I.e. they do a lot of drugs, and then like, while high, they try to say prophecies and stuff.
Florida man, protector of the realm.
Pretty much. I mean, to give you an idea, the Oracle at Delphi was basically constantly high as shit whenever someone consulted them.
To be fair, if I had to deal with Greco man, sometimes I would do that.
It was believed that their actions in trance, i.e. completely wasted, would determine the outcome of a crop or whether the herds would thrive. People were aware that they were part of nature, and that her claws were often bloody. They were in tune with and respected the natural rhythms of the earth, and had a high mortality rate and a life expectancy of 50 at best.
I hate all this wushu.
Yeah, go live in the woods and poop. Oh wait, you don't? You use our electricity, you bastards? Okay. Like, and all of them refuse to actually go out and live in the woods and poop in it.
Because that's hard.
I know,
That's
it's almost
what
like
other people should do.
it's almost
They're
like
thinkers.
they would be dead.
They want us to live in. They want us to live in cuck pods and eat bugs.
You know what the crazy weirdos that like live off of the grid and like write manifestos do? At least they actually commit to their insanity.
Yeah. Like, cause Uncle Teddy actually committed to that shit.
It's sad that the Unabomber has more integrity than these weirdos.
Also, there's a reason. There's kind of a reason for the Unabomber's mad. There's kind of a reason for the Unabomber's madness. This, however, there's no.
They were in tune with and respected the natural rhythms of the earth, and they sensed the subtle energy of the life force all around them. I think they are. I think he is ripping off the Force.
So it's all due to midichlorian.
Well, as I quote back in the old days, the Force is an energy field that surrounds us, surrounds all life. Those of us that with the power can sense it and tune with it. So he's literally ripping off the old explanation of the Force. GG. However, as time went on and the species became more advanced, they estranged themselves from the natural world and sought to impose order over it. Oh, despite periodic renaissances of magical activity, i.e. fraudsters, on the whole, humanity became robotic and isolated. That's why we became more connected and, could talk more, and more of us were around.
That's why we could do things.
I mean, it's only when we found out how to farm that we were able to actually form cities.
Yeah. Well, it's more than just farming. It's about storing the food itself.
Storing the food, having people manage the records of the food. Having specialists that can actually make the equipment so that farmers can actually farm more food. People that know how to tend to animals.
In fact, most of your original currencies would usually be a measurement of, originally its worth was made from the measurement of crops. In fact, usually.
That's what the shekel came from, yeah.
Yep. First,
and the drachma as well.
Also, what was kind of amazing is that some of the first pay that the Egyptians got was in beer. Imagine being awesome. Like you go work at the construction site and you get paid to get hammered. It's fucking awesome.
Well, that's because beer also had the benefit of not forcing you to shit yourself to death from the water infestation.
Well, that and also it's grain as well, so it's.
Yep. So it guarantees you have something in you. So anyway, as it became robotic and isolated, that's why we became more interconnected and could form more elaborate societies. Okay, Gabriel. The further they moved from nature and magic, the more isolated they became. Okay. I mean, we only gathered together and can form more elaborate societies and actually meet more people rather than just our village.
I think Gabriel Strange was just listening to Do the Evolution on a loop while writing this.
I think so. And eventually this led to madness and decay, and finally to us, Wraeththu. No, that was due to AIDS blood, but okay. We don't know why or how we are here. Are we an accident or deliberate creation? Deliberate creation of a very bad writer. Were we created by the planet itself to destroy parasitical humanity to save the world before they abused and killed it entirely?
You are parasites. You literally cannot exist without. You need humans to try to procreate. So
don't forget, a lot of their cities are just built on the ruins of human ones. So they don't even have that to claim. Also, they're recreating human elements of society without, while trying to pretend that they're better. and despite the fact that they're supposedly more united with nature, then explain why they're actually as sectarian, if not more, than we are. Or are we simply a random result of some unknown genetic flaw in humanity? Having six different base pairs doesn't mean having 6 base pairings. Well, 3 base pairings rather than the 2, 4. That's not genetic. That's beyond anything normal.
Well, my question is, he wanted to throw the 6 base pairs in here, but then why did we go the magic route? It's like, why are we trying to throw science and magic here at the same time when he's trying to denigrate the science explanation?
I think he was
because Gabe's an idiot.
I was gonna give him a little more credit and trying to say he was trying to make it mysterious, but yeah, he's an idiot because he couldn't quite pull it off. Perhaps you will never know the answers to these questions, but for most of us, one thing is clear. We are the guardians of this world, not its owners. Okay. We are a part of... Oh god, you were right about the circle of life. We are part of its eternal cycle. Wait, I think I figured out the identity of this person in a previous life. I think they were Goldman from House of the Dead 2.
Oh god, to protect the life cycle.
Exactly. It is our home and our resource. Without it, we cannot live. No shit. Would we wantonly destroy every atom of oxygen that exists? No, because then we would die. The Earth is similarly precious. We must preserve and tend it. I like this hippy-dippy bullshit that's just oozing through the pages.
I like that it's almost pretentious. Like he's wanting to make something that's deeper, but then it's
Meanwhile,
just.
I bet you Gabe buys shit from China and doesn't give a shit that China shits out like more pollution than most of the world aside from India. Gotta get my cheap iPhone so I can complain about the environment.
It's the environmentalist thing to do.
We are perhaps just a new form of humanity, and we've been given a second chance to get it right. Or it's just a hippy-dippy bullshit message that happened to occur right around the time of, for some reason, California falling into the goddamn ocean. I don't know why.
The ghost of Bill Hicks watching over us.
But Bill Hicks just got bored of this world and just said, you know what? I'm going to give Arizona that bay it deserves.
Beachside property, baby. Here we come.
From our giving AIDS blood to people, we discover abilities that seem superhuman to us. But are they? We can manipulate the natural energy of the universe with astounding ease. Literally the Force. Agmara is literally the Force with a stupider name. Almost as if our systems have been somehow attuned to accommodate it. Oh my god, they even have midichlorians too.
Yes! We're going full midichlorian!
Yes.
It's 11:30 in the morning. Who's been drinking? Is it you, Gabe, or was it you, Qui-Gon Jinn? Humans could achieve certain magical effects, i.e. Scams, but only after lengthy and arduous training. For them, it was always difficult, always done through a veil. Translation, it was always a scam, and only dummies like me would believe it. We can see and indeed pass through that veil. Few humans were telepathic. None of them. Wait, does that mean that, like, Gabriel Strange is the type of person who lost money to Peter Popoff?
No. Here's the thing, though, with telepaths. Like, I forget, wasn't Neil Patrick Harris's character in God damn it, I'm trying to remember what it is. Starship Troopers.
Yeah, he was.
Wasn't he?
Yeah, in Starship Troopers, because in the Robert Heinlein books, some humans actually do develop some telepathic powers. I think it might have been due to like some eugenics stuff.
It's radiation.
Radiation, eugenics, something. But some parts of the human population have a mild telepathy that makes them useful for spies. And it's, kind of common, like, Star Trek has that kind of shit, too, with the Beta Zoids.
Judge Dredd does.
Well,
there's telepathic races. Humans, not necessarily.
Well, with, aren't new types slightly telepathic? I know they
new
have
types
precog.
Have slight precog. They actually have a very strong empathy and telepathy. Because the entire theme of new types, especially in the early stages of Gundam, were new types were able to connect to other humans more effectively, because a major theme of Gundam was war was partially because people didn't communicate effectively with each other, but also that in spite of this, war might still happen because of human nature. Like it was both both shitting on the idea that war can be stopped with better communication, but also highlighting that you don't necessarily become a better person if you understand their point of view.
But that's a bit too deep. Gundam's a bit too deep.
Gundam is surprisingly deep for a children's cartoon where a lot of people fucking die.
Well, we're not talking about good stuff. We're talking about.
So where was it? Perhaps much of this is down to perception. We know that everything in the multiverse. Oh, we're going multiple universes now. Oh boy.
Oh god, is this the Chris Chan merge?
Oh no.
Well, they did say it was crossover friendly, so probably.
Oh no.
It's comprised of energy. An oak tree is energy, as is a mountain, as is a horse, as is breath, as is emotion, as is thought. Pretty sure thoughts don't have energy, Chief. Unless you're talking about the brain activity.
I mean, they're brain activity patterns in, your gray matter, but I'm not sure that's exactly what he means here.
Technically, an oak, you could actually. Are they going with the concept that matter is condensed energy?
I think.
I mean, that's technically true, but at the same time, it's a pain in the butt to actually manipulate. If your consciousness could perceive the microcosmic world, oh boy, quantum bullshit now.
What kind of? Are we just taking? Did he just like look at any like vague concept? Just kind of
He's
go
read all of the
paste, copy.
conspiratard websites like quantum consciousness, all of the atoms and subatomic particles that make up creation. Perhaps all you'd see is a buzzing mass of formless energy with no boundaries or limitations. You wouldn't be able to see shit, Captain, because you just see nothing but void. Actually, you'd see nothing but void.
He knows about the quantum realm. He foresaw Marvel, and then he went to the quantum.
Well, no, I'm saying like he'd see nothing but void because 99% of matter is nothing. Like, it's mostly empty space. You got your little electron shells flying around, and then you got the dense neutrons and protons in the center.
I feel like that's somehow symbolic of Wraeththu.
A whole lot of nothing for that's still there for some reason.
But what is there is you have some heavy and dense stuff right there.
So what you're saying is that if this game was an element, it'd be osmium, which is effectively useless aside from just making weights
Yes.
because of its stupid denseness. Like, to give you an idea, osmium is about as dense as lead.
Oh.
Gee. Whew.
Let's see, where was I? Oh, the oak tree joins with the thought, with the water, with the breath, with the mountains, with the
Jesus.
desire.
What? Oh my god,
This
thought
is
is
literally
time, thought
this
is
is-
time. Time is a flat circle. La Cthulhu la.
I was thinking more like, this reminds me an awful lot of, what was it, creation science? There was this one channel that, like, said weird shit like that Jews came from space. And that Martians were Vulcans, devoid of all emotion. And that, like, they settled on Atlantis, where the Martians basically got hit with a little meteorite because the highly advanced Anunnaki said that the meteor has to hit the planet because it is decreed. They get angry and try to nuke the Earth with a fucking Star of David hell creation. And
That sounds pretty metal. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, I forget the name. I think it is. No, it's spiritual. It's spirit science. That's the channel.
Oh my god.
I think Gabe watched. Oh no, it can't be because spirit science came later. But still,
No.
he picked up all this insane shit, just like that one guy. I wonder if Gabriel thinks Jews also come from space.
Probably.
You're saying they don't?
Oh man,
The Mel Brooks movie was right.
that's probably where that conspiracy came from.
I wouldn't be half surprised on that.
Only from our perspective does it divide into things that we can touch, smell, see, taste, hear, or think. Indeed.
Hearing all this stuff, I feel like that this is the kind of stuff that if we used like who's the black science man? I'm spacing his name right there. We could post some of this stuff from Wraeththu and then like some of the text blog from there, and then put his face on there, and then make it seem like it's deep and. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, I was blanking on his name too. I knew it was like Tyson something.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. We'll take Neil deGrasse Tyson and we'll superimpose some of the text blurbs from this portion of Wraeththu and see how many people think it's deep and.
Either that, or you just go the simple route and like attribute it to like crazy evil monsters like Dr. Mengele.
I think it's usually funnier taking people that adore.
Like you attribute it to Bill Nye the Science Guy. I mean, he's thrown science away for politics, so why not?
He believes 86 genders, so it's not like it's believing stuff like Wraeththu. It's not.
Only for okay, we can divide things that we can empirically and analyze. Then empiricism's just the stuff that you can see, feel, touch, taste, whatever. Indeed, our senses are the interface between ourselves and what is not us. Perhaps it is only these fragile, limited perceptions that create our environment around us. Oh wow, we're getting
No.
into that philosophy where reality is an illusion. Like, who is to say we are but brain in jars, mumbling and gurgling? Who is to say that I perceive as an oak tree what I perceive as an oak tree resembles anything you might perceive as the same thing? If we were to swap bodies for a day, perhaps the world would be incomprehensible to us. An alien environment of monstrous, unrecognizable form. Because you know what I love when I'm reading this stuff? Very poorly thought out philosophy from literally the first day of school. We are workers of magic, but this does not mean we possess supernatural abilities. Oh,
Bullshit.
so you are going with my, it's actually just physics. It's just science that's, so advanced that people who don't know it scream it's magic.
You're fucking bending reality. You're fucking telling reality to go fuck itself. What do you?
So despite shitting on people who go from a scientific background, he's literally pulling the Arthur C. Clarke. Magic is just science. The unguarded thoughts and emotions of others are to us like leaves caught in the wind. Energy seeps from the harsh mind and body continuously.
It's not the only thing seeping.
Yeah, I think blood is seeping from his brain, and he's suffering a brain bleed as he's
His cranial fluid is starting to.
Stop thinking, brain. You're going to hurt yourself, says Gabriel as he continues to write this gibbering nonsense. We possess the ability to perceive and interpret it, as we can perceive leaves drifting from the trees in autumn. This is not supernatural. It's entirely natural. We are less isolated from each other than humans ever were. Bullshit. We are now where we're on the same web of energy, interlinked with everything around and beyond us. I'm actually losing brain cells rapidly reading this.
This is meaningless fluff. This is like something that like some of those cheap spirit animal poster shits you can get like from like a flea market that have like these quotes that think they're deep and profound, but it's just cheap at the end of the day. This is the kind of stuff I expect to be on those text blurbs.
This is obscurant waves of pig shit wrapped up in philosophy.
This is the movie Bob. This is like the movie Bob level of logic.
This is what movie Bob's manifesto would read like.
Oh no,
no, there's not enough gas the manuals.
Well, no. I mean, like in terms of structure, in terms of content. No, his would be far more repulsive.
No, you take it. No, the movie Bob level logic is you take like $10 words and you arrange them in a way that sounds vaguely profound, but then when you get down to it, it's shallow as a kiddie pool. And we're talking, when I say kiddie pool, I'm talking like the 12-inch.
Oh yeah, good point. I will give Gabriel this. He only uses like occasional $2 to $5 words.
Yeah, his budget wasn't high enough for the $10 word.
But
alternative. So it's just gibberish, but at least it's sort of understandable gibberish to like people who are at least in high school.
Yeah.
I wouldn't expect a kid under the age of 12, under the age of 13 to really understand.
I think we're 20 and we can't understand any of this. This is meaningless.
Well, we can't understand it because there's no meaning in the text that we're looking at. Speaking of things that are trying to come off as deep, it's like a square, only someone sanded the corners off. So I guess that would make it a circle, right? All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle. All these squares make a circle.
Gabby, I need you to tell me that I can leave.
Mr. Popo, you can leave the room.
Don't tell me what to do!
I don't know how Myth got a gallon of LSD, but there he is with it. He drank it too.
Just wandering around some bombed out city chanting this.
All these
it's
squares
like a square,
make a
only someone sanded the corners off, so I guess it would make a circle. It's like a square, only someone sanded the corners off, so I guess it would make a circle. It's only a square.
And he's walking around with an empty milk jug, just LSD dripping from it.
he shit his pants like 20 times, and there's just a snail trail winding through the city.
Horribly sweating, his pants soaked in piss.
Uh,
You have his VAR handlers just like in their Gestapo uniforms, face palming at this. At their Gestapo uniforms with like, you know those pull-up training pants? Like that's what they're wearing underneath them because shrew people.
Day in the life of the
Probably.
shrew people.
What I'm trying to say is that when you're a shrew person, you basically become an adult baby at all times.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Gabe, why do you want to be one of these things?
Where was I? Fuck it. I think I'll just start randomly at a spot, and I don't think anyone will miss it. However, our network is not yet fully operational. Make
no,
it
you'll
go
find
faster.
You'll find that our shit posting is quite operational by the time you get to this Gabriel Strange.
Now watch, Strange, as we destroy your book one line at a time. For now, we are able to communicate fairly easily with Hara local to our area, i.e. in close proximity, or anyone else in trance. So while utterly baked. With Hara who are close to us emotionally and who might not be nearby. So basically, they have psychic telephones now.
I guess.
I don't know. That seems a little less reliable than even Telegram.
And you know that this is just going to end up with a lot of them drunk calling each other in the middle of the night.
Like you got Myth baked on Pieta going, hey, man tickler, and he's like, what? What are you trying to say? All these squares are circles, man.
Shut the fuck up and go to bed. It's like 1 in the fucking morning.
I'm trying to beat.
You're implying that it's clear communication. Since he's so baked, you might just be getting like half a sentence at all times. What? What are you trying to say? Just fucking starts batting spiders off his arms that aren't there.
Man-Tickler gets angry. God damn it! I'm trying to beat it. I'm trying to beat it while torturing this guy. God damn it!
He threatens Myth that if he doesn't shut up, his head will be on a pike next. And the pike is just one of those crappy aluminum laundry holders that are for a clothesline. That's their pike. Just that fucking aluminum piece of shit.
Okay, I think we're at also.
Also, those who have received intense training, such as the listeners. Oh, wait. Why do Hara need training if humans needed training to do this? Why are you saying that you're better if you still need training to do this?
Because we need less training.
I mean, that's viable, but you shouldn't be like bragging about something and then have them have to do the same thing. Employed by the hegemony and Amanian, can pick up energy transmissions and interpret them as messages from non-local Hara unknown to them. Few of us yet possess this level of skills. Oh my god, they're literally sensing like from Dragon Ball. What's the autism level from this book? It's over 9,000! What? That can't be right!
Oh god. I kind of that's an interesting mental image. Like these horrible shrew people dressed up like Dragon Ball Z characters.
Actually, given that they have long hair, they kind of like they kind of look like a more bitch version of Yamcha, which is kind of hilarious because Yamcha's kind of the bitch in Z. I mean, his most memorable image is him dead, like in a fucking crater. Like that's the most memorable image of him, aside from maybe getting his heart almost ripped out by an android. Yamcha's role in life is to get owned and then cucked. Because remember, the Prince of All Saiyans cucked him out of his own girlfriend.
Okay. I'll take over reading for a bit. Our communications take place via the ethers.
Wasn't that a
Ethers?
disproven theory like a while ago that ether exists?
I'm getting the sense that Gabe isn't all that up to date with science.
I'm trying. Wait, do you think his like textbook in school was like from 1822 or something?
It's still referred.
It's like
It's still referred
it's like
to.
our glorious 15 states.
It's still referred to Irish as subhumans.
It also has long S's, so he thinks that you spell S's as an F.
All right. Which is a model to represent the web of energy that exists beyond normal perception. In trance, this can be perceived as a shining network, like a maze of boundless spiders' webs. Oh god, there's spiders everywhere!
The universe is spiders.
Other Hara might be seen as pulsing stars upon this web. We can reach out to them with intention, which is to say our own energy and make our presence known. Of course, not all Hara perceive the ethers in the same way. To some, they are like endless vista of alien landscapes, and other Hara appear in various forms, most of them horrible, like
Oh,
more
no.
horrible than the reality.
This isn't even my true form.
Yet more Hara do not perceive the ethers in a visual sense at all, and merely sense its existence. They are able to feel the presence of others, but might not receive any images of them. So, yeah.
So
The ethers
all of them are mildly psychic.
The ethers can be used for purposes other than communications. Trained individuals can project their minds to observe events in.
Oh my god,
they
he
can
believes in remote viewing.
Some are even able to see through time into past or future events.
And he believes in those assholes that claim to know who you reincarnated from.
Remember
Remember that old gimmick where he'd be like, you pay a dude like 50 an hour so he lies to your face about how you used to be like a maid that worked for Louis the 15th, the Sun King.
Well, no, it's always something glamorous.
Oh
like,
yeah, so like
you were
you
a
were
priestess of Bast in the
you were a gallant officer in the
26th
Crimean War.
dynasty of Egypt.
You were a pharaoh in the 28th dynasty of Egypt. You were a noble soldier who died at the hands of the Russians in the charge of the Light Brigade.
It's never. You were a gong farmer in 13th century Britain.
I figured I was just the guy I reincarnated from was some hapless peasant that died at the Battle of Hastings. And he shit himself before he died of an infected wound. That was his ignoble.
Well, the most famous reincarnation I probably was King Henry VIII, which was just a big fat man-child on a fucking throne who just ate himself to death after killing half his wives. Don't worry, in exchange, I then became a plague-ridden peasant that just farmed fucking potatoes in the Andes. That was my punishment.
Alright. Alright. The other lanes. Okay. Yeah, just throw that out there without explanation.
But after the lexicon too, where that should have been there.
I'm having a tough time. At this point, I'm just not even paying attention. I'm just hearing all these just words. It's just
I'm not lying. I'm just hearing wah 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 wah.
we're hearing these bullshit like concept after bullshit concept. It's like this is mindless gibberish. This is all gibberish.
And this is after all the gibberish should have been wrapped up by now.
Oh, it gets worse.
Oh boy.
There are pathways beyond consensual reality. So okay, 3 guesses as to what game Gabe ripped off for the magic mechanics in this.
Mage.
Yeah, yep.
I don't even have to think about it. It's Mage.
Which humans might have grasped at one point blindly with concepts of wormholes and ley lines.
Oh god.
Why are you saying that you know this better when you basically have ley lines in the form of your shitty psychic communication network?
I have been privileged to ride one of the Glemming sedans, Sodom, which at present are the only means at our disposal to enter the other lane.
I imagine it's a bicycle with no seat.
A Sedu is a creature that, in our reality, takes the form of a horse and whose origin are unknown to anybody but Fade of the Glemming.
Oh,
They are
wait,
able
is that
to-
that stupid thing that, like, the conspiracy thing happened with psychic horses or whatever?
I think they are able to open portals
This is
into the other
stupid.
lanes and transport passengers with them.
This is stupid.
Well, I can think of, but I can just only think of My Little Pony right here.
Yeah, basically you got alicorns or whatever they're called.
I said psychic, fucking high level psychers, basically.
They are
Psychic
able to open.
horses. This is as
Oh,
smart
God,
as
this is-
Warhammer's teleporting crocodiles.
The psychic, honestly, given my handle I go by, psychic horses sound pretty fucking
They are able to open portals into the other lanes and transport passengers along them. Using these pathways, a journey that would take weeks on foot can be accomplished in what we perceive only as minutes. This is perhaps what humans would regard as the most magical of our ability.
No, so what you're saying is they basically... This is Gabe ripping off Changeling. Did Changeling Lost come out at this time?
No, this was like 2003.
So yeah, if this came out years later, you bet that he'd be ripping off the hedge for the other lanes.
This, perhaps, is what humans would regard. It is simply that we lack the knowledge of how it works. I
well, no,
Magic,
wait,
I ain't gotta explain shit.
you could be ripping off the Eldar webway.
Almost certainly.
Yeah, I could see that. I paid great attention to during my other lane journey and observed that Sedu changed form beyond this reality. Unfortunately, I lack the words to describe what it became. Oh God!
Lovecraftian style of describing the indescribable, but without even giving it a fucking shot. Go do a flip.
My Little Pony, friendship is Eldritch horror. All I can say is that I was in rather than on.
He got vored by a psychic extra-dimensional eldritch horse.
Kind of.
We're getting into My Little Pony territory here. We're actually right in where the fan base usually is like.
I could call it a being of pure energy, but the message in that would be inaccurate since we are all beings of pure energy.
So it's literally a light horse that vores you into its belly as it teleports you along the psychic headway pain.
Kind of. This is. I feel like the. Oh, Jesus Christ!
You know for a fact Gabriel was thinking it looked cool, but no, it really doesn't. It sounds embarrassing.
We can only hope that Fade will one day enlighten us about the Sodom, but I can't help but suspect he came upon them by accident and hardly knows himself how they function and what exactly they are.
Or
Oh,
maybe
that's
he just
good.
sacrifices humans to them every now and again for their blood ritual.
Okay, few have experienced the other lanes as the Glemming exercise tight control over the Sodom.
How? Why?
Magic. Don't gotta explain shit.
Well, I mean,
Yes, of
you wouldn't
course.
think you'd think other tribes would be able to tell them to fuck off eventually, right?
Nah, don't gotta explain shit. Of course, gives them an immense advantage over other tribes, and a militaristic sense makes them virtually invincible.
No, you just have the ability to essentially do the teleportation maneuver, like basically deep strike.
What I could love if they did psychic energy. Like I don't know if you've seen the movies Hardcore Henry, but I like the main villain the way he uses his psychokinetic energy to like try to bend people like in half. But as a result of doing that, it really hurts him. Like doing that is very dangerous to his health. Like I mean, yeah, he has great psychic powers, but as a result, it does a lot of mental trauma to him, where you can kind of see the effect of his nosebleed or something like that.
Let's just give the good guys an instant win button in the form of teleporting vor horses that allow them to steal rain into the enemy's back.
What kind?
We can manipulate the universal life force to affect healing. to influence effects and to perceive things beyond the limitations of our senses. We are shamans and seers, but we are also pioneers of a technology vastly superior to anything conceived by humankind.
As they
We're
still live in the fucking ruins of humanity.
we're superior.
Still using
We
human
are
equipment. Still using pre-used, pre-fall weaponry.
Meanwhile, the real superior technology is those I don't know.
No one's superior. They're too retarded to know how to build a fucking musket.
That black powder is a foreign concept.
Just the concept of building gun, that...
we are like children who happened upon the entrance of an ancient tomb, where lost knowledge resides in the form of strange glyphs and symbols.
Oh, they're
So,
gonna go argue that magic's technology? Okay.
as we grow, perhaps continual study will enable us to interpret these marks correctly, to understand and read them.
That's
I
not
like to think
technology, that's a writing system.
I like to think that the possibilities presented to us now are merely things that were lost by careless humanity, who became less civilized and less erudite the more they advanced scientifically.
Because of course, living as topless, loincloth-ridden savages in fucking huts in villages. You know, that's totally like hunter-gatherer societies were totally the peak of society.
Science, spirituality, and magic are one.
No.
The moment we acknowledge that there is no division, and what we perceive of magic is merely science behind our comprehension.
Fuck you, you stole Arthur C. Clarke's words and decided to reformat them, you uncreative hack.
Is the moment we truly inherit the guardianship of the world that humanity wantonly squandered. It is
You mean via idiot ball? Because your little shitty group would have been exterminated if humans were even given less than half the idiot balls they were given?
Tribal infighting and petty squabbles over territory are meaningless in the grand scale of creation.
That's why you're planning on exterminating an entire tribe in a massive tribal infighting incident.
We had our childhood, running wild like animals in the ruins of human civilization. Now we must grow up. If we don't, we deserve the same fate as those we came to replace.
By the way, the little symbol there doesn't work. The little drawn picture. By the way, do you like how he basically flipped horizontally the eye and then fucked up the angling?
Yeah.
GG.
Oh, he did.
GG.
God damn it, Gabe. Oh, shit. Oh.
The quote's pretty
Okay,
good.
so this is the super... over on 309, we have the whole list of stupid bullshit magic.
Oh boy. Agmara, universal life energy, power behind all magic. This term deprived from the name given to the first Wraeththu. Why is there a comma? Although I thought his name was like Adam or whatever the fuck it was. I don't really remember the name of the first Wraeththu. Like, that's how good the lore is.
Oh, why is all the magics like things just to make me like want to kill myself?
Because it's words that might have been from another language that were rearranged a bit to sound cool. Magari, a spell magical operation performed fairly quickly without a recourse to a full-length Maghan. Magaris can, of course, also be cast within Mizans as part of a ritual.
Okay,
This is getting more autistic than Transformers lexicon. Fun fact, did you know that the Transformers have fucking units of time? And that they have actually described what each one represents in terms of human time? Fun fact, the Transformers year, one Vorn, is equivalent to 87 human years.
Question, can I say the quote, please? Because it's just...
Sure.
Did you see him go down? He went down like a sack of iron kittens. Jizzerin far.
I think what happened was he got hit in the face with a bunch of like Iron Kitten statues, and he was never the same since.
He's special needs even for the Wraeththu.
Well, what happened was, if you took an X-ray, you would see that his brain is more shattered bone matter and scarring than brain tissue now. There's a big soft spot in the front of his head that he has to wear like a helmet for. Don't you like how they also provide shit, the way to pronounce this shit, but only for like 2/3 of the words they introduce?
Like Maz-Arn? No, that's Majhan.
Ajhan or something. And Nayati, not Nayati.
Jesus Christ.
This is like this is the type of stuff you would expect a high school dropout to come up with in terms of names. Like, yeah, you ever go to you ever go to some like small forums where they would do like role play and stuff and they came up with names?
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel like some of the bullshit names they would make up to sound cool?
Now, for you listeners, if you ever try to come up with unique names, just don't pull random shit. Try to think of something that would make sense in a constructed language. If you're going to try to go for unique names for your magic or any other type of
pull a
general.
Tolkien. Just go pure language Spurg. That does help a lot.
Yeah, like I said, choose a language grouping you like. Go.
Or if you just don't give a shit, grab some vague real world language and switch around some of the letters, like Gabriel Strange does.
I'll only do it better than this because this is embarrassing. Like, really, why do you need to come up with new names for shit like magician or magic user? Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Because they're better than regular human magic user.
That's literally his logic, and yet they still use a variety of human words.
Adam, want to get this next section?
Oh, what is magic? What is magic? Brief history. Agmara is universal energy. No, I thought it was the energy you generated by fucking each other.
But that taps you into the universal life stream.
Oh god, he's doing the fucking chakra thing where you can ankh your fucking energy?
Yes, I think he is.
Did Gabriel Strange start the Spirit Science channel? Because I'm starting to suspect he fucking did. Even if he got someone else to say his own crazy thoughts for him. Every object, whether living or inanimate, is linked with this energy. It flows through living creatures and helps hold the inanimate together. Okay, so it's the strong nuclear force or the electromagnetic force? Okay.
This is what Jaden Plinkett Smith said. This is Jaden Plinkett Smith level of philosophy right here.
Jada Plinkett Smith is smarter than this.
This is
I'm gonna debate on that.
This is like Jack Chick here. Like, Jesus binds atoms together.
No, Jack Chick has a slightly better grasp on reality, I think. Because he does know that committing crimes... Well, yeah, he's dead, but, because he does know that committing crimes, even though it's for Christ, would get him in prison, at least. Then again, Gabriel Strange did warn players that you shouldn't do half of the stuff that is in this book. Like, at the very beginning, like, warning, don't try to use real knives on yourselves. Ancient peoples believed there were 5 basic elements. Oh, by the way, there was 4 elements. Spirit was added later on. And nice rejection of Eastern philosophy, which had 5 elements too. And they're different from what yours were.
Yep.
Wood, metal, I believe earth reappeared, as did fire and water. Good fucking job.
But then he should have ripped off Poking Man because I want my electric and bug types.
Well, we totally need a fairy type to cleanse this place. Anyway, ancient peoples believed that there were 5 basic elements. Earth, air, fire, water, and heart, which form Captain Planet. Which comprised the world in which they live, i.e. they formed Captain Planet. Then came the Age of Strife, the Age of Reason, and the advancement of science. Science at that time was seen as a form of magic by many did not understand it, at least until it became widely accepted. Accepted, like it's a theory. But even this new magic could not explain many aspects of the universe. The unknown was given the name dark matter. No. No, Chief. It's because we calculated gravitational influence on how a galaxy should hold together. And based on the amount of mass we could see, it's missing about 3/4 of the mass needed to hold it together in the shapes that it forms. It's literally well, what the fuck is it? I don't know, dark matter. We'll figure it out eventually, somehow. Many claim that large portions of the universe were made of this substance, or at least shrouded by it. However, dark matter was nothing more than an excuse for causing scientific theories. It's kind of a temporary workaround for the fact that we observe there should be more mass in the universe than what's observable, though. Like, to give you an idea, only 1/4 of the mass is visible, and yet we're getting a different readout. You know how a person can sometimes say, and they look like they're only like 150 pounds, but then they get on the fucking scale and it turns out they're like 200?
Yeah, that's basically the universe.
Yeah, like, where the fuck is this extra weight coming from? We don't quite know yet. However, nothing more. Well, no scientist could explain. Pure magic cannot be measured or examined by science, thus making it pig shit. It defies explanation, thus making it worthless. It is perhaps the one thing that would help scientists understand their theories. No, because you know what magic does as soon as you introduce it? It stops the search for truth. Well, how did this happen? Magic. Okay. All it does is it stops finding out more about reality as you know it. It is a crutch and an end codon that doesn't lead you anywhere.
Hell, even religion makes you question things. Even though there's a good deal of religions, will still make you question a lot of things.
Religion gets a bad rap, but hippie bullshit does the same thing, kind of, too.
Yep. Yes, it does.
Basically, you cannot replace. You can't. Science works because it keeps forcing you to explain why things happen. Yeah, dark matter is a temporary explanation. We don't know this yet, but eventually we may be able to figure it out. Who knows? Maybe it's just the fact that, maybe because a lot of matter is dark and cold, because it doesn't have light, maybe you just can't easily see it. Maybe it's just pockets of gas that we can't see.
Hell, even pseudoscience, or or I would say,
Pseudoscience
alchemy.
tries to use a little bit of science, but the same problem happens too.
I was talking about more like alchemy. There's always, at least whenever the quote unquote field of alchemy, there was always.
Well, alchemy was basically just the predecessor to chemistry before quality standards were kicked in.
Yep.
So where was it? It is perhaps the one thing that can help and explain much of what is unexplained by ending the discussion and thus rendering any form of further understanding never happening. But now it's too late for humans to take advantage of it. Before the advent of the shrew people, a new theory had begun to emerge that dark matter, or at least the presence of the unknown, was in fact magic beyond human comprehension. Fuck no. I'm surprised he didn't use dark energy, because dark energy, that's also kind of a why the fuck is the acceleration of galaxies going away from each other happening? Dark energy.
I am completely lost right now.
Oh, I'm lost too, but that's because I'm looking into a person who believes that the start goal of any inquiry is just it's magic. I ain't gotta explain shit, and then just end it there.
So we're just gonna get the meme.
It's essential oils. I ain't gotta explain shit. It just cures your cancer, bro.
It's colloidal silver. I can't explain shit. It just prevents the floor water from mind controlling. Yeah.
It also helps with your Crohn's disease.
What evidence do you have to this? Do you do you have any empirical?
Well, when I shit out cancer cells, and he just shows you a bloody toilet.
That's nothing. That's just your bloody stool. That doesn't explain.
It's cancer cells that the colloidal silver and essential oils purge from my body.
I think that's just the colloidal silver racking your digestive tract and your hemorrhaging.
I mean, colloidal silver is actually not. It doesn't usually do that, but like drinking bleach would. which some weirdos actually think is a way to cure autism.
Oh God, those
I
people
thought
are awful.
I thought drinking bleach was a way to end yourself.
It is, but they're taking it as a way to cure autism. My guess is they actually do want to kill their kids, but they're trying to explain to the Child Protective Services that no, they totally aren't, and they're just making it up. Like, I think it might be an attempt to commit infanticide and the version of child murder.
Everyone knows the real reason to prevent autism is don't get your child vaccinated. That's science right there.
Well, I mean, they can't get autism if they're dead from measles.
That's galaxy brain move right there.
Your child can't catch autism if they die before autism manifests in them.
All right.
Okay,
Who wants to get this next part?
Oh, thousands of years ago, a secret magical practice developed that only I, Gabriel Strange, know about, because I have forbidden knowledge that I have to tell you, the menial peoples, before the government fucking exterminates me. Which could have bridged the gap between science and magic. It offered an explanation for entities such as angels and gods and would have assisted humankind to understand its true purpose. It was called creationism.
Jesus Christ.
Unfortunately, human scientists could not tolerate the idea that ancient peoples, who they considered primitive, could have known more than they did. Can you explain what this magical practice was, maybe? Do you have any evidence?
Blood sacrifices.
You know, that might be what he's talking about. Who knows at this point?
Like I said, I've had to tune out at this point.
I don't blame you. Any person who actually gives a shit about learning stuff is just dead inside.
Right now, my thought process right now is like Homer Simpson thinking with like the cartoon cow in the mind. That's my thought process right now.
I thought you were going with the Homer Simpson approach of just sliding casually back into the bush, not saying anything, and hope that you don't.
Either or work. Either or are applicable in this scenario.
Sadly, this contributed to humankind's destruction. Practitioners of the old ways found solace in the fact that the inheritors of the earth would find a new path. Oh, you mean the hippies that are responsible for the resurgence of malaria? No, not malaria, measles and fucking mumps.
Or the hippies that are a result that have also tried to permanently damage the nuclear energy program in America.
Because they listened to the fucking communist Russia's invectives on why nukes were bad.
It was Russian bots. They didn't. They listened to the Russian bots.
No, I'm not joking. The anti-nuclear movement was started by the Soviets to actually sabotage our ability to boost our power grid, as they could do it without, that bullshit. Mainly because any protesters could just be vanished to Siberia and then just forcibly work to death on building railroads or roads. Okay, where were we? The ancient concept of magic drew its elements from the observation of the world. Without microscopes and the abilities to see such things as atoms, scholars used the model of the 5 basic elements. Wrong, dipshit. Did you know that the concept of the atom was as old as 500 BC?
But that didn't count.
A Greek philosopher came up with this concept that eventually you would reach a point where you could not split matter anymore. That point was called atomos. That's where the term atom came from, because originally we thought we couldn't split them any further, and then we kind of found out you could. And then you could do it a little more, and then you got weird shit like quarks now. And I think that's like the smallest thing we could do.
Yeah.
For all we know, you might be able to split quarks. We don't know yet.
Yeah, we're talking about stuff that I'm too dumb to comprehend. So.
But yeah, here's the thing. The concept of atomic theory has been a thing since the fucking before Christ.
Well,
before Buddha too, by the way.
Like I said, the atomic really
it wasn't in vogue until we actually could start to until we started figuring out some stuff about matter, but the concept was out there. It was just not very well accepted. Mainly because, there wasn't really any proof of how matter fucking worked at that time.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
But
like people do attribute to people ancient wisdom, but these types of people then ignore the actual cool things that they did, like figure out the Earth was round before Jesus was born.
Yep, that would have been in the library of Alexandria. In fact, that was
Oh
in
no,
the
that survived the burnings. It was observed. Basically, what happened was a guy and a student decided to do a little experiment because they noticed that the shadows do change a bit depending on where you are in the world. So he did it at a city in southern Greece, and his buddy did it in Egypt. And his little mentor did it. He then calculated the shadow difference, but at the same point in the day, and was about 90 to 95% within the Earth's actual radius.
That's fucking amazing. That's fucking baller.
We actually figured out the distance from the sun to the fucking planet of our planet in the 1700s. Mainly because Edmund Halley, the man who discovered Halley's Comet, they had to use either that or I think it was Mars. Like he said that you had to use like the retrograde motion of Mars, which would happen after his death because of the way the cycles worked. And after he died, scientists actually used it and figured out, oh shit, yeah, the Earth is about 180 million miles away from the sun.
huh.
They were a little bit off, but that's because they were using trigonometry. They didn't have cool things like satellites back then.
But considering trying to do it very
Like this is all napkin math, by the way.
using pen and paper to do that, that's pretty great with the
So
tools they had.
I am pouring acid all over this hippie guy's ideas. Like no, like just because we didn't have a concept as a scientific theory back then, and just because the ancients got a lot of shit wrong, doesn't necessarily mean that there weren't scientists out there. They just didn't have the actual routine that's down completely.
No, dude, you're going about it the wrong way. Air, fire, water, dirt, fucking magnets.
Yeah, sure.
How do they work?
I mean, yeah, sure. Doctors for a long time thought the heart was where we thought. Which you can't blame them. I mean, it's the center of your body. It pumps all your blood. Like, it's where all your blood is. I think some that did think maybe the brain was where, the head where the brain is might be where it is. But like, I'm just highlighting. It's so dumb. More advanced practitioners incorporated other forces such as temporal, chaos, order, and fate. What? I've never heard of these at all in the ancient times. These lesser-known elements completed the magical construct which enabled the most skilled practitioners, i.e. the Jews from space, to perform true magic.
So why didn't they, conquer people or go down in history?
For the same reason why Wakanda in the movie didn't conquer all of Africa with their magical space spears.
Plot contrivance.
Yep. A few magical groups tried to teach their fellow humans how to use magic. To their surprise, students were able to pick up the basics quickly, but the higher reaches of magical theory went beyond general human comprehension at that time. Oh god, does he actually believe, like, Thoth is real? Like, Thoth was a king of Atlantis or something?
Probably.
That means he probably listens to Melchizedek. He's a big fraudster that actually came up with a lot of the bullshit. He revived the bullshit Atlantis myth that occurred in, like, the late 19th century. But the higher reaches of magical theory went beyond general human... Oh, I already read that. Maybe they could not perceive or accept the more rarefied elements, or because human physical and mental capabilities inhibited their use. You're too retarded to use magic, people. You're too dumb. Now watch as us, with our inferior ability to run even a fucking chicken coop, let alone a society, somehow can cast magic. Honestly, I'm starting to believe that their power is similar to an Orc field.
It pretty much is.
As science became more powerful as a movement, interest in magic dwindled or became outlawed. No, magic was seen as fine for a long goddamn time. Like, court magicians, court wizards, and all that shit.
Yeah.
Forcing it underground where select groups continued to teach in secret. It was only...
Oh god. We're going into Crowley bullshit.
We're getting into reflexology as real, people. It's only towards the end of humankind's reign, where science could not save it, that humanity turned once more to religion and magic. If humanity could have worked together earlier... Oh, you mean like how you can't? They would have unlocked many of the secrets of magic and might have secured a future working with Wraeththu rather than against them. More like if the U.S. Army and the other armies of the world actually decided to just fucking turn their guns on them.
You realize the armies had to act like Paradox Games, and that's what had happened to
No,
them.
they were dumber than Paradox game AIs. At least they have the logic of defending major points in the line. They just don't know, that you have to defend the whole line. And that's how Randall lost to Arabia as Italy. The AI fucked him. Well, I mean, he also tried to build nothing but tanks, and tanks can tend to die a little quickly if they don't have any, like, motorized to back them up with some beefiness.
Well, see, if I conquered Arabia, then my oil problems will be solved.
They have almost no oil, though, and you can't really develop their provinces too much.
Fuck.
You should have went down the focus tree that just opened up oil in Libya, to be honest.
I did.
You still needed more?
Okay. Is magic we skip over is magic yeah.
Yeah, why use magic when an axe will do? Unless that's boring too. No, these are all boring.
Yeah, I think there's some more. Oh yeah, on 3:14 there's more science is bad.
Oh, science. Here we go. This is gonna be nice. You want to read it, because I've been kind of dominating this episode.
Science, in a human sense, has had its time. Its tools have been either abandoned or broken, much like me right now. And the more rigid of its views have been rejected by the majority of horror.
So that's why they can't do things like build fucking flintlocks.
This is rejected by the majority of people. That's my love life there.
So that's why so many of them get sick with, like, dysentery and shit.
This does not mean Wraeththu are not interested in studying their universe in an objective manner.
Bullshit.
They just have a less restricted, and more wide open view.
Bullshit. Every pseudoscientist, every weird hippie, every fucking creationist, they love using this line because it's not accepted for good fucking reasons. No, you're close-minded, because here's the thing. You change your goals whenever you're shown evidence of why your bullshit doesn't work. You always stick to it no matter what. And you try to force others to think the way you do. Open view my ass.
Science will, in fact, enter a new era as certain horror will explore their powers and abilities by fucking each other and the forces of nature in a magical sense.
Honestly, if they did magic like where it is trying to be scientific, like maybe the gelato are trying to scientifically understand it, and then you got like the Kakarats who are in the fucking desert and they just say it's magic shit. I don't gotta explain it. That'd be that'd be kind of a good way to do that.
I would make magic more of psychic, like their psycho.
Well, they should be, yeah. Like, because ESP is a thing in this setting, I would just make it psychers.
Yes, like I said, they're just figuring out how to use mental They're more able to more efficiently use mental.
Like the reason the Wraeththu can do that is because among the physical changes, it's not that bullshit part of your brain awakens. It's more the brain structures that some humans have just due to malformations. Like some humans can have ESP maybe to like a limited degree.
Yeah, but see, that's why there was never any objective proof of it. It's just so rare that
it's like a rare brain malformation, like a tumor.
Perhaps the only way that it can handle it is that they need to have an incredibly high metabolic rate.
Like a mixture of that and just a slight restructuring of the brain, because it's like around your temporal lobes and your pineal gland or something.
Like maybe that's why they need to eat a lot. In fact, the ESP is really physical. It's very energy taxing. With the influx of magical bullshit, the unknown has a framework for the explanations on how the universe functions.
Magic, I ain't gotta explain shit.
Scientific facts aren't as cut and dried as
So water can go upstream now. Okay.
The sun rises in the west and sets in the east.
Well, it
I would've loved-
turns out that the Earth is flat now. Yeah, well, I mean,
New
if it
theory-
is like Mage, where it's collectively asserted by people how reality works, maybe that's the case.
New theories and ideas are showing themselves, and the mysteries of dark matter will be explained.
Fucking
Not by you.
magic.
Who knows? Maybe it's just big, fat, fucking lumps of hydrogen that you just can't see because of how dark it is in the backdrop.
Human
Maybe-
scientific discoveries still have some place within the world of Wraeththu, as without access to knowledge of the past, Hara would use magic and ignorance. You mean
I
like
thought
you
I
always
thought
do.
the ancient Bronze Age shepherds had a better understanding of society, though, Gabriel.
With some acts, with some scientific knowledge, a
Magician.
Riona could create effects incorporating compounds and chemical reactions.
Alchemy is real. You heard it from Gabriel Strange.
The universe runs upon a set of rules. Science aims to work out these rules, and magic has simply no.
No.
There is no intelligence behind these rules. Finally, some truth behind this.
The only
They
true
are
thing in this
simply there-
entire section.
They are simply there for intelligent species to discover. No, there are no intelligence behind these rules. This is this sums out the whole book, this whole section.
Yeah. Laugh
No
and the whole world
intelligence
laughs
behind
with
these.
you. Laugh at the wrong person and you're in the world for hurt. Asima a Ugandan.
Yep, of course.
Isn't it weird that all of the quotes are from Ugandans too, by the way? Like, have you noticed that most of the quotes are from them?
Yeah, I guess that's Gabe's pet tribe.
But they're like, they make the Vars look good, and they're supposed to be the evil tribe. Like, you know what the Vars do? At least they at least know where to dig their latrines. God damn it!
I think it's because he. Do you think that he? I would love the fact that he was like an anarcho-primitivist. That would be kind of amazing if that found out what Gabriel
Now, if
Strange.
Mantickler was an anarcho-primitivist before he got embraced, I mean incepted. Sorry, I got confused a bit. I thought we were playing a really crappy version of Vampire. If he was like, oh god, fuck it. If he was embraced, fuck it. They're vampires now in my brain. If he got embraced as this anarcho-primitivist, that would explain the Ugandans a lot more.
Oh, now playing an anarcho-primitivist Brujah would be fucking amazing.
Or if you're going with Chronicles of Darkness, playing an anarcho-primitivist, insert any of the 5 major things or bloodlines, like Gangrel, like an anarcho-primitivist is Gangrel, which is kind of a stereotype Carthian. That could be something.
Let's head on. 315 maybe. There's
versus
some
evil, the
philosophy
misconception.
spurging.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
I'll read this. Good versus evil, the misconception. The forces behind magic are impartial. It's only practitioners who aren't. To a majority of humans, magic was either black or white. But Hara would say it is really a multitude of gray shades.
You do
Like
know
by
that there's other
vomit.
forms of magic from Final Fantasy, Gabe, right? Have you ever heard of blue magic? What about the red mage?
Though if you're kind of D&D, there is clearly good and evil magic. There
Yeah, I
is,
mean,
because-
necromancy is kind of a darker magic just because it does focus on harming those that it touches.
But no, this is supposed to be realistic, so everything gotta be in shades of gray.
This is literally
Right.
edgy teenager who just realized there is such a thing as there is shades of gray in a morality field.
Magical energy has no intent. It is neither good nor evil. It has no agenda or malice, as it is only programmed with intent by a rhubarb or a Heinemann.
Jamie
There are-
Heineman is a wizard. I've always enjoyed cursing Adam.
There are no such forces as good or evil. Only the intentions of the rhubarb. One horror's perception of evil is another perception of good.
So this is Gabriel rationalizing why he makes a murder hobo in every other game he plays.
No, real is my character's perception of good.
In my character's society, the next generation's important. So yeah, I'm totally allowed to rape this woman. Because I live in a desert tribe. We need our children as much as we can.
Gabe, get the fuck out of here. We're not letting you back
and then he just begins like brandishing his mole ninja equipment.
In my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Only Sith talk in absolutes, Anakin.
Every magical act is a means to an end. And that end might be good for one individual, yet bad for others. The concept of good and evil lie in the minds of the individual.
So apparently, if you murder a baby with your bare hands, you could justify it as good somehow.
It felt good for me. Is killing another living being always an act of evil? What if you knew that somebody intended to blow up a building, which would kill thousands of people, and the only way to stop it from happening was to kill the potential killer?
Why don't you just kick him in the face until he's unconscious and then, I don't know, tie him up and put him in prison?
Why don't you just
Why not just call the fucking cop?
Well, I mean, this is the wasteland, so why don't you just like kick him in the face until he's unconscious with your blind fighting kung fu magic, and then just tie him up with the whips because you took a proficiency in whips, and then you just left him then you just leave him to be at the nearby Ugandan rape house.
Use magic to shoot off one of his testicles with your revolver.
Just use your high speed stat and just shoot him in the balls 8 times per round.
No, just come up with your flamethrower.
No, because he's wearing gimp leather that's been reinforced, so he's fireproof. You're gonna need a longbow for that one, man.
Oh boy. You would no doubt believe you were doing something good, and might perhaps think it would be evil to not stop the killer. But the killer has a rationale for what they are doing. Perhaps seeing it as political. Timothy McVeigh did nothing wrong. Good job.
This is literally 14-year-old's first take at trying to do Shades of Grey. This is literally right out of childhood morality here.
This is college level. This is first semester of college philosophy level of morality.
But seeing in their eyes, they are not perpetuating an act of evil, and those allies to them would think they were in fact good and honorable.
Actually, you're saying Timothy McVeigh did nothing wrong? It should actually be Osama bin Laden did nothing wrong, because this is post 9/11.
By them, you would be seen as evil to stop the killer.
He's literally defending the Taliban and Al-Qaeda.
Jesus Christ. It's all down to perception and the view of reality you choose to live by.
This is the second book that has terrorist apologetics that we've reviewed so far.
Right.
What is the next book we're going to review have more terrorism apologetics?
Well, the next book we're going to read is actually written by a terrorist, probably. Depends on if we want to go through my Farag or not.
Oh god.
Vampire Satanist, so bad though.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the next book, aside from maybe Night Horrors for some future event.
Horror will not see things in terms of good and evil, but rather as two conflicting worldviews. Killing thousands of random people is objectively wrong.
Also, how come he thinks you have to kill the person doing this when you could just literally punch him until he's, in a lump on the ground, and then you just arrest him?
Like I said,
this is basic arithmetic. 1 life versus 1,000.
I mean, he is old enough to have seen Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Both simply are. The best a horror can do is live his life to the best of his responsibilities and by his own or his tribe's code of ethics.
Thus,
Most-
so he is supporting the rape gangs of Uganda.
Oh God.
So not only is Gabriel accidentally admitting he's a terrorist apologist, he's actually supporting literal fucking Mad Max hooliganism.
Most horror accept that cooperation among Wraeththu is the best way to live, and that each heart should be tolerant of each other's beliefs and ethics. Sometimes,
The Ugandans, the tribe of peace.
sometimes it might be necessary to take action against another in order to survive. But this
Oh
would
god,
be
he's
seen as
actually supporting the concept of lynching now too.
oh god, this would be seen as an expedient act rather than an act of good or evil.
Lynching, an expedient act.
God damn it, Gabe.
Are you sure this isn't written by Movie Pop?
This is if Movie Bob went down like an borderline eco tear. Like, he was a wait, he could. Bob could become an environmentalist because there's a lot of eugenicists. There's kind of this. There's
Well,
kind of a really.
if you get rid of the wasteland ghouls, then that means the environment can be saved.
Like I said, with a lot of environmentalists deep down, there's this really this utter contempt for the majority of people when you get to a lot of environmentalism deep.
Well, they're really just uneducated people that like to make others feel bad like they do. Not always. Some of them actually know what they're talking about, but most of them will do things like ignore how China is the biggest pollutant in the world next to India.
You mean Gretchen Thunberg?
Ignore that. Yeah, that Green New Deal you're trying to espouse. It would literally. It's the entire world. If they paid for it, there still wouldn't be enough money.
But it's magic.
Like
That
more
God-
money exist. Like it would take more money that exists in the entire planet.
No, it's all gonna be fine.
And also,
mean,
now
we can-
they're completely ignoring how now they're gonna get mad that they can't use their private jets or their shitty fucking.
I know what it
SUVs.
is. The thing is, when they say there's not enough money, I've seen this used countless times because the government can always print more money.
Either that or the
Or-
Green New Deal is just an attempt by these weirdos to just embezzle the entire world's money.
You get down to a lot of environmentalism, usually at the end of the day, it's usually about siphoning money.
Well, the thing about environmentalism that I want viewers, look up how many times a major celebrity or a figurehead in the environmentalist movement uses private jets, which belch out shitloads more poison into the atmosphere than
Al
fucking
Gore.
cars do.
Al Gore.
Al Gore, not just Al Gore, like almost every major environmentalist would rather use their private goddamn jets or use transportation, transportation, not public transportation. No, they're luxury cars because hanging out with the menials is trying and scary.
You know who does take public transportation? Who seems like a genuinely chill dude? Keanu Reeves, man.
Well, that's because Keanu Reeves is an ageless vampire.
Yeah. All right. Want to go over the goofily named tools?
By the way,
On,
Keanu Reeves
316.
is Alex Jensen. I didn't ask for this. Oh, the Mahjong tools.
Look at that knife design.
Why is it called a vacay?
Ugh, it looks.
How do you hold it?
I think.
Is this like a dagger version of a batleth, but like worse?
Okay, I'm trying to see how this works. You put your thumb through the big hole. You put your index. You put your index finger through the. Then you.
To quote Worf, this does not tactically make sense.
I mean, with the design of the blade, it's like.
It looks like something. It looks like something that you would see on Star Trek Discovery, and this is like the new Klingons' take on the batleth.
Like I don't even see the functionality. Like
At least the batleth gives you handles you can hold.
Viewers, when you're trying to make fantasy weapons, another thing, try to think of how look at real weapons in real life. and then try to base their design sort of on that.
Do you
Because
like
it
how
needs to
fucking
make
narrow the hilt is at that point? Like, it just snap.
Like, it's kind of poorly justified in that it's a shitty ritual weapon, but
still, even in a ritual, it looks like it would break in one use of the ritual.
Also, do you like how it uses a bootleg version of a kukri? It's based on a Tibetan knife.
It looks vaguely like you took like an animal fang and you made a knife around that, but then still,
Well, it's
that'd
based
be a
on
lot.
a Tibetan weapon called the furba, which was used by lamas to control the demons back in the time where, Don't you like how it's always Oriental style weapons that these hippies cling on to for their stupid things?
Or Keltaboo weapons.
Yeah, it's one or the other. It's either claymores or kukris.
I would
No
use.
scimitars, no shark tooth clubs.
I'm trying to remember
No
the.
equas.
I'm trying to remember the name for the two-handed blade for the German word for the.
Zweihander?
Yes, Zweihand. I'm always fucking terrible pronouncing German, but I fucking love those swords.
I'm more of a claymore fan.
Halberdor. I'm more of a halberdier. They never use
I
a
also
fucking
really
halberd.
like this scimitar.
Scimitars. Yeah, it's anything that has a cool shaped blade. Never a functional.
And I know it's kind of obsolete, but I also like the Egyptian kopesh, which is an axe sword combo.
Yeah, the kopesh is fun.
those are pretty cool.
Other weapons I like is they never use the English bill. Never thing like
The
your
billhook is
nice.
probably my favorite. I also like the Dacian Romphaon, which is basically where you take a scythe head and turn it into a pole.
Or how about the God damn it, not the Godendag, which is basically a club. It's half club, half spear.
What about the Seminole Shark Tooth Club, where they literally use gar teeth, shark teeth, and crocodile teeth as a club?
They also use jade, like the Maori also used jade and literally made a jade club. Just take a big hunk of jade and make a club out of it. You basically
That's pretty awesome. I like that one
South.
I like that one South Asian weapon, the whip sword, Urumi.
The Urumi sword.
Yeah, it's so stupid, but it's so awesome.
One of my favorite weapons was the Aztec obsidian club. That was so sharp.
It was more like a sword, and it just jagged cut into you.
Basically, if you did it right, you could basically saw a man in two.
It was half club, half sword, all ow.
Yeah.
I still like the Romphaon because the Falx blade basically terrified Rome so much because of how casually you can just go around the armor and chop off limbs that they had to redesign the segmentum to actually protect the user from it. Like, no, seriously, they had to redesign the armor just for this one campaign against some random tribes along Bulgaria.
Speaking of protection, let's go to 318.
Did they show any more dumb-looking weapons? No.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I know what you mean by protection.
What was the page? Sorry.
Anal.
318.
Oh, 18.
Or sex magic.
Nayati? Oh. I just passed it and I'm like, oh.
Sexual. Oh my gosh, sexual. I like how it's pronounced sexual congress.
Oh, and the quote associated with it's from the fucking pedophile tribe.
Oh, like I said, wait. Does this mean that in the Wraeththu universe, sex has Congress has turned into one big fuck fest? I mean,
if their texts are to be believed, then it's hard to see how such meek creatures compared to us can inherit the earth.
Sexual congress between. God damn it! Why did you use that word?
This is the most awkward way to fucking describe anything.
Who wants to read this?
Okay, let me do my Gilbert Gottfried. Sexual congress between Wraeththu is called Aruna, and it's considered by the majority of Hara to be a highly spiritual practice. It is not simply for pleasure, but it can be a mahjong can affect reality. Ahar is both male and female and has all the required organs to both function. By the way, do you like that both function? It's one word. They can take a dominant or passive role in Aruna and do not have to stick to the same role. Aruna is not just about physical gratification. It is a spiritual practice and a way to connect with the Angmara energy. Role-playing out such actions would be inappropriate. No fucking shit. So players should decide on how much detail they wish to give if their character takes Aruna. I suggest you go into detail one bit at a time. This matter should be discussed between storytellers and players prior to play, so that everyone present is comfortable with their limits for such descriptions. All a player needs to do is state their character is about to take, or has already taken, Aruna with another Har.
Oh my god. What the fuck?
I kind of want to pay Gilbert Gottfried just like some money.
Oh,
to
we
fucking read
can
this.
get users. If we set up a Patreon, Gilbert Gottfried can say just about anything.
I'm not even try. It would get taken down immediately for some of the shit we say, probably.
We've
Oh,
said,
this is.
I mean,
this
they
quote.
purged Carl of Applebee's, so
hey, we
compared
did
to
not.
that, we're fucked.
Aruna plays a big part in the novel, so should not be ignored in this game.
You
I
need
can't
to
do the
talk
voice as
about
well.
how you fuck each other. That's literally what was said there.
I like though. Look at 320. Look at the page 320. Chuggery and healing. What the fuck is chuggery?
Resulting consequences. There's a lot of consequences here.
Consequences will never be the same.
Do you think we can leave it here and then just polish it off?
Yeah. This is about as good a place as any.
I'm gonna leave it
I like
to
that.
resulting consequences because that's the perfect title for the ending.
Well,
I think
Well,
after
guys,
Gilbert
this was-
Gottfried, we can't really top that. So
we went on a magical journey in more ways than one. I would say.
I'm getting closer. We're getting close to finishing this book, and I don't think our lives will ever be the same again.
It's touched us. It's touched us in horrible places.
It's touched us in the way that you want to call Child Protective Services is how.
This book has touched us in the same way that I, this member of the Colostomy Bag tribe, has touched Georgie.
And with that, in no longer being able to repress the enemies, I'm gonna go kick the stool and finally hang myself. Goodbye.
Good night, everybody.
Yeah, see ya.